Hello and welcome. Oh, yes. Hello and welcome here to Town Hall Heroes, episode number 91. It's 2016, and we are here with the new start time that nobody was prepared for.
Yeah, we're off to a great start, boys.
Zoya and we were both napping. Everyone is sick. What's up, guys? Happy New Year.
Thanks, Jake.
Eat shit. Happy New Year, man.
All right, so 2016's here. What's everyone been up to? Kubi, let's start with you.
Oh, well, you were talking just like updates.
Yeah, what's new, man?
Yeah, sure. Holidays were good, at least for Christmas. That was pretty chill. Hang out with the family time. It was good. It was nice, relaxing. Still have gotten almost no snow, which at this point just feels very strange. And then what else did I do? I went to New Year's, hang out with my girlfriend out in Vegas. That was a lot of fun. I had a great time. But I am now this thing that you see here. I am very sick. I have a viral infection, I guess. So that's good. So I'm going to be hacking up a lung during the whole show. That's fun. But otherwise, I'm doing great.
Yeah, you're coughing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sneezing. Zoya, what are you doing?
I am leaking out of every orifice right now.
Oh, great.
It's today. I don't know what happened. I streamed a video game with Gilly a few hours ago. I felt like exhausted, but I didn't feel sick. And then I took my nap, and then I just woke up like 30 minutes ago, and now I'm in extreme pain. I'm probably gonna end up getting up once or twice this episode, so bear with me, people, as I do that. But I don't know. Your break was fine. I grinded a buttload of heroes over the break.
Picked Gazlo. What feels bad, man?
Okay, that was an accident. All right.
Accident.
One of the times I played with Mike, I accidentally picked Gazlo.
How does that happen?
How do you
I was
accidentally?
AFK, and then when I sat down, I had like a half second to click something, so I
He
panicked.
conveniently tabs back in and clicks on Gazlo. Ruined my 96% win rate Zeratul on my smart
Oh
account.
no!
Yeah, but I
Feels
grinded
bad.
I grinded a lot of Hero League over the break. I got my MMR pretty high to the point where I hit like a lot of the people in the top 200, which is cool. Start getting in good games, but I'm actually a few cool things happened. I'm the official caster for the Storm Elite League now. I casted it last night for 6 hours. Had about 300 to 500 viewers the entire time, which was really, really cool.
Nice.
I'll be doing that a lot more often. And then this weekend, I'm going to be casting Heroes Rising Esports Arena event with Gillyweed, which will be cool. You guys get to see me wearing a tie, which I haven't done in a very long time. So that'll be a cool event.
Nice, man. We'll be talking about all of that later in the show. Glaurung, my friend, how was your holiday season?
The holiday season was actually amazing. It started off like with me in China, and I was a little bit jet lagged because of that. But once I got home, came home to a lot of snow, and I've snowboarded twice since I got home, which makes me feel good. I'm coming up with a little bit of a cold right now, but the holidays were pretty good. It's been really nice to catch up with my family. My sister from Hawaii was home. It was nice seeing her. And then not too much has happened. I guess I left COG, and as far as Heroes goes, I've just been playing a lot of Hero League, leveled the Smurf account. Mostly just like messing around, trying to fall back in love with the game, which I have. You know, Zeratul's found me again, so that's good. But yeah, not too much. It's been pretty good so far.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, pretty much the same story for me. Visited family, ate way too much food. Saw my brother for the first time in 2 years, which was rather nice. And I am one of the people that thoroughly enjoyed Star Wars, which drove me to search for a space simulator. And I stumbled into Star Citizen, which is the largest crowdfunded game ever, and I am kind of obsessed with it, to say the least. Like, it's going to be years before that game's at a full launch, but the alpha itself, as buggy as it is very fun and has been taking up a good chunk of my free time. But we're back. Things are going, but we have some things to catch up on, right? Like WCA. And WCA is The second largest prize pool in the history of Heroes of the Storm. That sounds incredibly impressive, right? Well, I don't know a damn thing about the event. Like, I know nothing about it, about the actual global finals, other than the teams that attended and the fact that it was in China. So, Glaurung, if you could educate me as to exactly what the hell that event was, I would appreciate that.
Okay, so I can give you the skinny on this event. For the most part,
Oh, whoa. The skinny on this event.
Yeah. He's
I
got
need you to apologize.
He's got the deets. He's got the deets.
so
The skinny.
many teams were invited. It initially was supposed to have 4 teams from North America. Well, technically 3, but C9 took the spot of 1 team. And only 9 teams ended up actually going. So the format was a little bit weird. There was a group stage, but Group B was the only group that actually had someone get eliminated from the group stage. The Group A was just for seeding. And like they flew all the teams out, and like I've never been to an event that has like I don't know, insulted me as a player so much. Everything was done wrong. The tournament organizers itself, it was like super unprofessional. And Heroes wasn't even like the worst game, but just for a little bit of perspective, like day 1 we get to the event, we weren't allowed to leave the hotel, mind you. So for the first 2 days we weren't allowed to practice. The reason we weren't allowed to leave the hotel was because a year earlier a team got kidnapped and ransomed. So
I
yeah,
never heard about this.
What?
That must not have been public knowledge.
it actually wasn't. We heard it from the English translators why we couldn't leave the hotel.
Oh.
I ended
Oh
up
my-
leaving the hotel anyway, but it
That's
was pretty
pleasant.
brutal. We end up actually getting to the venue on day 1 of the tournament, everyone was just waiting for their first match for a solid 9 hours because the PCs that they had brought weren't actually able to run Heroes of the Storm, so they had to
Oh my god.
bring in just tons of different computers, and that took forever. It took their IT team forever. So we end up getting there at like pretty early in the morning, like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Sit there for about 9 hours before the first match actually takes place. And so we were given a few options. We were supposed to play almost the entire group stage that day. We could either stay up until like 3, 4 a.m. playing the group stage and then wake up at an absurd time to play the rest of the tournament in the morning, or we could like, oh god, it was just so bad. So day 1, that's pretty much what happened. Day 2, we finished off the group stage in the morning, and the rest of the tournament took place. So the teams that actually went on past the group stage, which is every team except for Cognitive, Feels Bad Man, played pretty late into that next night. But overall, like the prize pool distribution, sure, it had like the second largest prize pool of any tournament to date. It was distributed only to the top 4 teams.
Yeah.
So
That's
what kind
I
of
hate when
blew my
events do
mind?
that. Yeah.
Team Liquid actually was playing out of their mind, beat everyone in their group, beat MVP Black 2-1, beat E-Star 2-1, beat Cog
Yeah.
2-0, which isn't that much of an accomplishment, and then beat
Oh man.
Braveheart 2-0. And C9 wasn't there, so there obviously was that bye. But like
5-0 in their group.
completely undefeated in their group, and then they go up against OMG, and there was like shenanigans with cheating throughout every game in this event. But in
not
Heroes of
Define
the
cheating.
Storm,
Define cheating.
So for Heroes of the Storm, the cheating wasn't that bad, but what happened was OMG versus Team Liquid. The draft began. There was no specific time limit. We weren't using Heroes Draft. We were doing Lobby Draft in a tournament that has that large of a prize pool, where the admins actually weren't enforcing the amount of time it took to do the draft. So OMG, they do this thing where they actually draft with their headphones off. It's super weird. Like, not draft, but they play with their headphones off too. They don't use comms at all. And every Chinese team, except for Braveheart, Braveheart was actually a really cool team full of great guys. They were really well mannered, but every other Chinese team stood behind OMG, and you could just hear them communicating in the draft. So pretty much, Team Liquid was drafting against 3 different teams,
Holy what?
and yeah,
So,
and like
Let-
that might
let me
not
explain
seem
real
that
quick what
bad.
happened.
No, that's-
hold
that-
on, hold on. Let me explain what happened last year WCA for Hearthstone event. I believe the top 2 WCA for 2014 Hearthstone were Chinese players, and a lot of their success is attributed to the fact that the commentators were clearly hearable the entire time they were playing. So they're able to hear what cards were being drawn. They're being able to hear what things. Like, it is very well known that WCA cheats so that Chinese players win it.
Well, they give them an advantage. So in theory, the players could hear the commentators too in this setup. I assume, Glau?
There weren't not in this setup because it was kind of a shit show. There was the main stage, then there was the secondary stage, and because there were so many games at WCA, you were literally sitting across from your opponent on like shitty like plastic tables with the chairs were awful. They were like lawn chairs that they had everyone set up on that you were expected to sit for like 12 hours on, and it was just really brutal. So in Heroes of the Storm, Team Liquid played against a team that had multiple teams drafting for them, but that's not the worst. There's like other games that, like Crossfire, for example, is pretty much Counter-Strike. I don't know the difference, but the Chinese teams were playing on a 16-bit client while the Western teams were forced to play on like a standard client. And the advantage of the 16-bit client was you could see through smoke grenades. So like that was pretty bullshit. If you're well versed in
no kidding.
FPS at all, that's a huge advantage. Like, so WCA as an event is really, really brutal. But it wasn't all bad. Like, the event was terrible. The tournament organizers are terrible. And I heard that the owner of WCA, while we were there, got arrested for corruption. But
doesn't surprise me.
I mean,
they've always had shitty rumors about them. Like,
right.
It's always been a scumbag event.
What can that event be other than money laundering?
That's I was gonna
like,
say.
What can that organization be? Because there's an obscene amount of money. Everything they've done is horrible. They canceled the WCA America finals that were supposed to be at PAX. They just outright canceled them. And then the way that they did all their organization, like in dealings with ESL, was just so shaky all year long. But for their global finals to be this messed up is like, I'm glad I didn't go out there.
They haven't paid any qualifier money. They've only paid some main event money, from what I hear. And the only qualifier, they haven't paid any qualifier money at all. Like, Zoya, you can confirm this as well. Like, last May was the pro qualifier for Heroes of the Storm, Cloud9 and Tempo Storm. I think there was even a 3rd and 4th place prize pool. None of those teams have seen any of that money. And that's like 8 months ago. So it's pretty insane. I don't expect to see any money. Like, WCA for me was just an excuse to go to China, which you never want to do, especially with an international tournament. It was like really... Even though the event was run horribly, I went into the tournament with a complete wrong mindset as a player, and as a team, we had the complete wrong mindset, and I never want to go to an international tournament if my team isn't capable of either winning or placing high. Like, it was really, really, really brutal placing last, so that was interesting. But, like, WCA wasn't all bad for the players. It was...
Did you have good food?
Depending on what you did. No, the food was shit. But depending on what you did, it was pretty exciting to actually be able to go out, hang out with teams from different regions. Like, I became pretty good friends with a few people on an MVP Black, and hanging out with the Europeans was some of the most fun that I've had in Heroes. Like, it was so funny. The Team Liquid guys and the G2 guys, they're a riot, dude. They're so fun to hang out with.
I love the EU scene for... like, so much, man.
Oh, dude, the people are so fun.
Yeah.
But so I'd say overall the tournament was like 80% a terrible experience, but then you could try and be optimistic, and then for the extra 20%, it was a lot of fun. Like, I went to a nightclub with the Dota team and stuff.
Don't try and be optimistic. Here's being optimistic. I didn't have to go to fucking China. I'm so lucky. That's being optimistic. I'm so glad we dropped out of WCA. That's optimism right there.
Damn.
See, the thing is, though,
terrible.
I would go to WCA again one time. I won't ever go again, but I just wanted to experience it. Like, it can never be worse than that in esports. So now it's kind of like reassured my optimism. Like, it can only go up.
A team got kidnapped and held for ransom. It can be worse. It can be much worse.
I don't know how much you know about the history of esports, but a lot of weird things have happened. Players have been mugged. I mean, that's kind of
remember when Liquid Rhett got mugged at MLG?
Yeah, that's MLG Dallas. Rhett got mugged. But kidnapping, that is actually the worst I've ever heard of in my long history of esports. Like, and the fact, like you said, that was hush hush. Apparently, I don't
Yeah.
know if
That's crazy. Now that place is like in the middle of nowhere, like the venue is.
Oh yeah, it was in Yinchuan. I think originally too, WCA was supposed to be in Shenzhen. I'm not 100% on that,
Yes.
but
Supposed to be in Shenzhen.
they also changed the venue to a place in China that I had never heard of. It's pretty much like it's a tier 3 city in China, so like relative that would be like look at like Kansas City in the USA. You talk to a foreigner about USA, they're not going to think of Kansas City. They're going to think
Yeah.
of Seattle. They're going to think of
Well,
New York City, stuff like that.
isn't
So
that
it's
city
similar to that.
isn't that city relatively like young, and they're trying
For
to
sure, too.
promote like people to move there because it's like they built it recently.
Mhm.
It's a
And the
weird-
hotel they put us up in, like it was a 5-star hotel, so it was nice, but there were some really, really strange things. Like, for example, it was like brand new. It was a 5-star hotel in the middle of nowhere. You look outside your window from your nice like 30-floor room, and then you literally just think you're like in some ghetto in some favela. It was like really weird. And on top of that, the hotel was so new that actually me and my old teammate Iacona, we went exploring the first night we get there, and it was super strange. Floors 4 through 9 were completely unfinished, so they were just like concrete, and we were walking around through them. It was pretty interesting. It was just unbelievable. The entire event, like, we pretty much gave up all hope the morning of day 2. They told us that we were going to go to our practice area at 11 a.m. Then, so we're sitting in the lobby from 11 a.m. 12 comes around, 1 comes around, 2 comes around, 3, 4. No info on our bus. We keep asking. So we're just like sitting there talking with the EU people. And it was pretty brutal because the hotel lobby had 4 songs on repeat. Again, they were trying to cater to the Western demographic that was staying there.
Do you have Bieber?
No. It was much worse. It was Frosty the Snowman.
Yep. Okay.
It was Silent Night. It was Jingle Bells. And then
shit.
this remix of some random Christmas song that, oh man, you can ask anyone who was there. The only way you could tolerate it was if you were inebriated. Like, and even then it was still pretty brutal. But like,
Oh boy.
and they went all out too with the Christmas decorations. There were like snowflakes hanging from the roof, like Christmas trees set up everywhere and stuff like. I appreciate the effort, but I feel like their efforts should have been put into actually like arranging buses and taxis for the players to practice or to get to and from the venue on time.
Dude.
And it was just a complete disaster.
How far away
Frosty the
from
snowman?
Like
It was
the
about
venue?
a 30 minute bus drive. But dude, oh man, I never want to go to China again because of the roads. From what I understand, it's total anarchy. There's 0 laws regarding speed. Like people, you'll be driving down the right side of the road and someone will be coming down the same exact way on the same lane. And it's just super chaotic. Our taxi driver, so Syracuse is a bigger guy and he has like a beard. And no one sees that in China, especially that part of China. So our taxi driver, when we're going to the practice area for the first time, actually, we're going probably like 40 miles an hour, pulls out his cell phone, both hands off the steering wheel, just takes a selfie with him in the car without saying anything. It's just
He's just like white people.
pretty much. But they treat you like royalty. Like, that's the thing. Like, when I went to the nightclub, I went with my coach and we hung out with the Dota team. It was crazy. Random people who don't even know you take pictures with you. I had like 3 different people buy me a bottle of wine.
Glauc,
that I
it's
took back to
because
my
you're a
hotel.
ginger in Asia. You're a mystical being. It's the only. They're not treating you like royalty. You're a mystical creature in a foreign land. That's what's happening.
Dude, it was insane. Yeah, like
My
there were
goodness.
some good things, but mostly bad. So Zoya, you dodged a bullet. You would have hated it the worst. The food, I'm pretty sure I ate like cat or dog at one point. It was just the catering they had for the venue was so awful. It was either just this nasty KFC, which in China it's actually Kung Fu chicken, not Kentucky Fried Chicken. So it was just awful. Like, I don't like KFC from America, but KFC from China is like much worse. And like the food was just a complete disaster.
Dude,
But
KFC in Japan is god tier. It is actually really good.
Really?
Did you get it when you were in Japan?
No, I didn't.
You
I
messed
didn't
up,
get
man.
anything.
You messed up.
Well, I'll try it
You
again.
should be eating American chain restaurants while you're traveling
Yeah, I was
across
trying
the
to
world.
avoid that for the most part.
Well, it sounds like WCA was a shit show, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
That's very
Let's
bluntly.
hope the teams that earned money do in fact get paid, because, well, it sounds shady. I'm happy to
It's
say
a lot of money too. Like MVP Blacks owed 800,000 RMB, which is like, I don't know, like 150,000 US dollars or something like that, which is insane if they don't get paid that. Interesting thing too, Korean players, you expect the Heroes of the Storm scene to be like really, really big over there. It's actually not. There's literally one team that's good, and this is coming from like Korean sources. There's one team that's good, and the sponsor money isn't really that good out there. Like,
Well, that's how it was for StarCraft.
I'm not gonna
Sponsor money's never
say
been
any
crazy.
specifics, but like on average, if you're a pro,
Sorry, that was
Korea-
my alarm going off for the time that town hall should have been. That was telling me to make sure I was at my computer. So, a little information about WCA last year. Something that the Chinese government tries to do is they try to offer you your prize money the day of, especially when it's the bigger payouts. And it's like they get a lot. It happened to a few of the Hearthstone players that place very well. They offer you your prize money, they give you your check, and then before you leave the country, the Chinese government confiscates it.
well,
that
yeah.
happened
How are
to
you
a
supposed to smuggle like $35,000 cash through customs? Like it's
Like,
brutal.
They
That's
try and
so
they try and
shady.
scumbag people and shit.
But yeah, I've heard stories about WCA. I'm not gonna name any names, but people had to like take their prize winnings through a backpack, literally like $40,000 in cash,
Yeah.
just to try and get it back to the
Basically,
the
like
States.
what Raynad was telling us, like if we were to go to China, was like, do not accept your prize money while you're there. Like just don't,
Holy crap.
because the government will confiscate it with like the moment they get paid, like they call the cops, like, all right, go get these guys. They got money. It's like shit. Like
Wow.
it's super freaking shady
That
there.
is so shit. Well, if that's true, then
Yeah, Tides of Time. That's who it happened to. Tides.
oh man, he's a cool guy. Anyways,
I mean, we can talk about it from our side. We got to see just about zero of it.
yeah,
So that was fun.
That was good for me. The fact that it wasn't, able to be watched. But
I'm happy for you, Glaurung.
God,
I mean, it was. At the very least, I would have liked to have watched some of the end of the bracket, but no.
oh dude,
apparently
Team
not.
Liquid, they would have gotten so much like fame and stardom if they were streamed. Like honestly, they played out of their minds in the group stage, undefeated versus the best team in Korea and arguably the world, and then the best team in China. Like they beat them like it wasn't even close. The only game they lost to MVP Black was because of like a simple mistake. It like they were just dominating them. Like I was standing behind the Team Liquid computer just watching, and that's the only way I could watch.
You know,
But-
what? It's really cool because that means Liquid has a pretty good history versus MVP. They were the only team to take a game off MVP at MGA earlier this year in I believe it was August or July.
It is
Late
September,
August.
So
Late
they're
August.
August?
3-3 against each other. They've each won and lost 3 games,
which is
against each
really
other.
impressive.
That is because MVP Black. I mean, they're pretty darn good, even though they didn't make it to BlizzCon.
Completely different roster.
MVP,
For Team Liquid,
Team Liquid.
not
Survival-
MVP
Survival
Black's the
Vortex.
exact same,
Yeah, MVP Black's the
Roster.
same,
but Team Liquid,
Spawn Vortex
oh no,
is still the
it's
same.
yeah, Loose Front Vortex the same, but it's
Everyone
three,
else
three
is
different.
different.
Yeah,
yeah, they had Gert, they had Lowell, and Chris are the 3 new
Chris.
players
Yeah.
since MSIMG.
that's right.
Honestly,
that was their first LAN as that group, wasn't it? Did they play together at DreamHack that 5?
not that far. I
It
think
was similar.
they played. Well, they might have actually played one DreamHack before WCA.
Yeah,
I remember Chris was talking to me about he was on a different team at Prague. I forget.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they
No,
were.
Prague was a different roster.
yeah. At
entirely.
DreamHack, they were at the very least 4 out of 5. I'll
Yeah,
check
yeah.
right now. I want to say it was.
But
Um,
yeah, it was Falcon, Black's Corp, and I can't remember the other person.
Well, that
at
was the
MSI.
original Liquid, yeah, or
Yeah,
not the original.
That was at
original.
MSIMG.
All right.
But
well,
yeah, pretty much. Do you guys have any other questions about my experience in China? Because I pretty much summarized all there was to summarize.
So you didn't get to eat anything that was like
Oh,
good local food? Anything good?
So we weren't technically allowed to leave the hotel, but I was really bored. We got knocked out of the tournament really early, so I had just like a few days to socialize. I became pretty good friends with a couple English translators, and they took me and my coach out to a club. And then after the club, we were pretty wasted. We went to this Mongolian barbecue. That place was really, really good. The only bad thing was I ate this little piece of fish, and I swear I was like picking bones out of my teeth for like the next 30 seconds. But the food quality was actually like really, really good there.
Well, that's probably intentional, the bones in the fish.
Yeah, for sure. It just caught me off guard.
But
'cause I was
now that we're
so
thinking
drunk.
about food, I actually remember WCA. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. First time I ever heard about WCA was a bunch of StarCraft players getting food poisoning. Like that was my first experience hearing about it. So it's just like, well, that event doesn't have a good reputation here in the esports world, but. A new event is about to happen. It's a little thing called Heroes Rising. Crowdfunded, will be happening at Esports Arena. They had some online qualifiers, which were cast by Zoya and Gilly, and the live event this weekend will also be cast by Zoya and Gilly. Zoya, you pumped, buddy?
Yeah, man. It's the first line of 2016, which is freaking awesome that I get to be the one casting it. And it's the first almost grassroots kind of event in North America. Over, I think, close to 200 people have RSVP'd to go.
First
which
grassroots
is
LAN event.
LAN event, yeah. A lot of people have RSVP'd to go, which is really cool. The crowd fundraiser raised close to $7,000. Over $7,000, excuse me, which is awesome. As well as two different teams, both Bob Ross and Murloc Geniuses, were crowdfunded $2,000 each for their travel. So that event has raised $11,000 to just get people there, and then help the event as well, which is
Huge.
No, so
freaking
that's
huge for the hero scene.
That's travel. Does that include hotel or do you know?
For the 2,000 that they did for their
Yeah.
I think it's like use under your own discretion. Like they give the
Okay.
the team has like, okay guys, between the
got
5 of us we have $2,000. How are we gonna survive?
Right.
That sort of thing.
It's better than our Smash Days, Koopy. We would drive 9 hours and then sleep on the floor of a piano shop. It was awful.
Yeah, dude. Had to make it work. Had to make it work.
That actually sounds pretty awesome.
They were fun
It was
days
a wacky time.
for a decade ago at this point, really.
So old.
So yeah, we are old. But yeah, no, I mean it's gonna be a pretty hype event. Now, what's the format exactly? There's 8 teams, double elim, a 2-day event.
I think there's 9 teams, double them.
9.
Let me check. 1, 2.
Is there a seeding based off the qualifier,
There's
even with
10
the teams
Yeah,
as far
that
as I
have
can
been
see.
invited?
There
10
is
10
there is
teams, as far as
seeding.
I can see. So there's like a first round that's not like your usual like top
A lot
8.
of buys.
Right. Yeah, there's a bunch of buys. It's basically SK up against Kings of Blade Alpha and Bob Ross up against OVO. Those are the only.
Oh, don't Bob Ross and C9 meet in like the
That
quarterfinals?
would be
The first
yes,
round.
if they win
The first
their-
round.
Yeah.
That's so sick. That's gonna be a fun match
First
to
round,
watch.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
'cause
cool. We get to see the new C9. It's their first tournament with Arthlon. We can see Bob Ross. It's their first tournament with Fan. We've got the new Cognitive roster. We've got the new Tempo Storm roster. It's gonna be really cool. Sorry guys, I'm like I feel like I'm about to die.
It's okay, Zoya.
So I'm not like
Yeah. Well, we're all
being emo right now.
This
Like
isn't
I
gonna
honestly
be our
just feel
most
like I'm about to
energetic
like
show,
just get
guys.
up and leave. But
Everyone's
yeah,
sick.
it's gonna be really hype. I'm so excited to meet all of the amateur teams that are at this event. They all have been like super like excited and like they're just happy to go. I know. I think Blanks
SK.
like SK, excuse me, their captain is like taking a 2-day train ride to get there. Like, they're all like
That's
really
pretty
just-
hype, actually.
Yeah, like they're all like really hyped for this
Jeez.
event, and I don't know, it's gonna be cool. Like I reached out to all the teams. I was like, hey, like I basically sent each team like a questionnaire, like, hey, have each of your players fill this out. Like I want to try and like hype up the players, and like they all like instantly were like, yes, yes, like they were all just like super down to just like give me information to like help promote them and just help promote the event and stuff. The Heroes Rising people have been really awesome as well, to work with. The esports arena people rather, not the Heroes Rising people. I don't know, the event's gonna be super sick, man. I'm pretty hyped about it.
Yeah, you guys hit a bunch of stretch goals and everything too. So there's a second stream that is not casted.
It is
It's
casted.
just-
It is
Oh, it
casted.
is?
Castle.
Yep.
Who's casting that? Is that announced
They
yet?
have
DJ
announced it. Yeah.
DJ Tyrant and
I don't know the other guy.
some other guy.
Tyrants. He's LA local, I think, right?
Yeah, I think they're
Yeah,
both local.
okay.
So
Cool.
DJ Tyrant, I think this is his first like real casting opportunity. So grats to him.
Yeah, I think he's done like Heroes Hype or something.
He's
Yeah,
definitely
he
been
does- yeah, he
doing
does.
it. He's been
He does
doing
Heroes
it.
Hype, yeah.
But this is his first like gig per se, right? So
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. And no, it's just gonna be good. A lot of content to consume. My big shout out and request to Heroes Rising. We don't have a lot of events right now, and for events, the thing that I really think we should start to incorporate is replay packs. Release a replay pack. Save all the replays from the tournament, and
I can make that happen. I will personally make.
and
that
all you have to
happen.
do is upload it to Dropbox or something,
Yeah.
mega upload. They're super small files. And the great thing about that is then all these replays can be used as a resource for players to get better at the game. They can then load up the replay and watch, Glaurung's Zeratul, let's say. And they can study.
Oh yeah, you're gonna watch Glaurung Zeratul at Heroes Rising.
Feels bad.
Oh, Jake,
Well,
you done goofed.
I'm just giving an example, all right?
Oh, yeah, no, that's a great.
But it's also really good for content creators. It gives extra exposure to the events because other people could go ahead. Aspiring casters, they then have a resource to just cast replays, even though the game's already been cast. An aspiring caster could use it as something to practice with. So it's very beneficial for the community as a whole, and it's something we need to, as a community, really improve upon.
Want to buy CSC?
I'll be doing the observing, so I'll be able to make sure we save replays. And
You're
stuff.
casting and observing?
A lot of
Uh,
events are like that,
What a chance.
Yeah.
like all the
Is-
WCA events. And
Yeah, for
all the ESL studio events I cast and observe.
That's so
Well, with
stressful.
the exception of the.
Except
it
the
is,
Blizz.
it is
Blizz
a
official
challenge,
ones,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's gonna be a really sick event, man. I'm super hyped about it. It's gonna be fun. First event of 2016, and Esports Arena, they're like kind of like a new startup. They're starting. This is their first event of this tier, and hopefully like the viewers show up. Like it's gonna be hype, right? You got the new Tempo Storm, you got Bob Ross C9 showing up. Like hopefully the viewers show up, people show up, and we get more of these because I definitely think that's a possibility if we like impress the people that we're funding this event stuff.
Have you guys heard anything about the venue? That's one of my biggest concerns. Like
Yeah,
when
I've
I
been
was
there.
when I heard about this event, like is the venue tiny? Is it like similar to ESL Studios? Because
It's
no,
much
it's a lot
bigger than
bigger. It's
ESL
a lot
Center.
bigger.
Yeah, it's like an
Okay.
actual LAN center.
It's-
I think
it's-
like the fire code like limit is like 900 people.
okay,
So,
Think of a big
I
LAN
was just
center
wondering.
that is like also has like a stage and a viewing area. That's
Okay.
basically what this organization is.
because it's pretty brutal as a player to have to like play right across from the teams and hear them. They can hear you in comms, stuff like that. So as long as that's not going to be an issue, then I think the venue is probably just fine. I know there was like a lot of controversy over the WCA Pro qualifier, like that LAN. That was just Tempo and Cloud9, like at ESL Studios, and then BlizzCon week 1 probably wasn't as bad, but stuff like that.
Huh. Well, goodbye, Zoya. Rest in peace. All right, moving on. Heroes Rising is this coming weekend. I assume it'll be on twitch.tv/esports arena. I'm sure somebody in chat can correct me if I am incorrect. Follow Zoya and Gillyweed on Twitter for all the details about it.
Gilly's got it. It is
Oh,
that.
man, she is
She's
on
like,
it.
before you even said it.
Yeah,
it
she's
was already
just
there.
a psychic. Looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and it's really the first event where we're gonna get a feel for North America since the big roster shuffle post 2015.
I'm actually really curious to see what happens. Like, depending on the results of the tournament, it could shake up like rosters even more. It seems like North America right now is just thin ice and
Unstable
Oh,
portal.
yeah.
I'm actually like very
Go ahead,
curious to
keep
see what
going.
happens because like after BlizzCon, for example, all the teams that didn't go to BlizzCon didn't really practice that much. Complexity, COG, all those
Yeah,
teams
yeah,
like that.
for sure.
There was no events for any team. Like WCA was the only thing. And now that there's actually like a friend sent me a schedule that was in Korea for Hearthstone, and based off that, I've kind of extrapolated that the tournament, the World Championship tournament's gonna begin in February, and then actually gonna happen in March. This is like not confirmed for Heroes, but it's based off the Hearthstone World Championship, and then the Summer Championship could either begin in May and end in June, or begin in June and end in July. So like 2016 is going to be a super busy year, and everyone's going to want to form like a solid roster that they can like perform long into 2016 with. And I think Heroes Arena or Heroes Rising, whatever it's called, is going to be like a stepping stone to the North American scene for 2016, because we're going to see what teams can survive through a LAN event, and it's actually like harder than you'd expect for a lot of people. So it'll be really interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how the new C9 does, how the new tempo, like we've all said. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, this is like their last, I guess, stepping stone right before we get into that, because we're all waiting for that information, right?
Yeah,
Blizzard
like
to come forward.
none of it's been officially like sent.
Oh, for
like,
sure. Yeah.
So,
but I mean, we know, like, they gave us like sort of
For
like
sure.
this rough, you know, like, okay, I think what did Kim Fan say? I think she said it was like March or like I can't remember what did she say exactly.
I think they're aiming for March for the finals. And
Yeah.
that means
like
qualifiers need to happen.
That was
prior
just
to
like
that.
the road to
So,
BlizzCon.
Yeah.
It should start in February.
That's
Right.
what I'm saying. So like it's gonna have to be like fairly soon, but like if you're looking to get some quality LAN practice in now, this is gonna be a big one to like really iron out rosters. Yeah, I 100% agree
before
with
the
that.
first qualifier, assuming it's a LAN event.
I don't think there will be anything else in NA.
Yeah, no, probably not.
I'm really interested too, like to see, because the World Finals, they've said that the prize pool will be a minimum of 500,000. So they also mentioned, if I recall, that the sort of road to that event will also be monetized. So I'm curious what that prize pool will look like as well.
What are we talking about?
Like tentative schedule for
the
Heroes
the
W's.
World Championship. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, other than that, I mean, moving forward, I mean, what does the scene have? We have multiple amateur events now. We have Go4 on Sundays still, and it's been kind of quiet, right? There's not a lot else to compete in. So
Let's talk about SEL.
All right.
Sure.
It's back. Season 2 just started. Glaurung, I know you're playing in it. They changed the format really to like for the better. There's a bit of like bugs, like not bugs, but like a few like MMR exploits people are using with it. But overall, they've changed it to where it's captain's draft now. So the way it works now is someone starts a game. And any amount of people can sign up for it. You can have 10 people, you can have 40 people, you can have 100 people. The top 2 highest MMR people become captains, and then they draft their teams. A lot of the complaints people had from season 1 was like you just get like they would just try and balance the MMR. So like you'd have like Zuna, who's the top of the ladder, mixed with like a shitter like Glaurung, who's at the bottom of the ladder, and you know it would lead to unhappy games. But so
it's like less RNG based as far as team construction goes. Like right now, the only bad thing is like, depending on how many people join your game, it kind of sucks to be the fat kid left out, you know?
Yeah.
So that's one bad thing. But if enough players are in SEL and enough games are going on, that's not going to be an issue. Because if you don't get selected in one, you're going to get selected in another. Like but
that's what was happening all last night. Like 2 games would the first game would happen, all the tryhards would like the best players would be in it, and then the second game would happen where like all the fat kids would be in it, right?
Which is actually pretty cool too, because then there's different like tiers as well. More likely than not, the people that are getting selected first are going to be higher MMR, so you're going to have that higher MMR match, and then below that the lower MMR match, and people can sort of prove themselves in this game, and then eventually their MMR will be high enough to sort of compete with the big dogs. But also, one of the issues that some people have, I personally think this is just fine. Like the way Captain's Draft works is you can still select your teammates and stuff and form advantages there. But like no matter what system you have, there's gonna be issues. And I think Captain's Draft is like much
I think it's
better
so much better
than
I think it's
what
so
it was
much better.
before.
Yeah, so people are hyped to play it again. The games have been really good. Like I said, at the start of the show, I cast for 6 hours last night, just constant games, like just back to back to back, and the games were great. There
Is there
was
an
this
official
one.
time and when that it's going on?
So
It goes
it
on pretty
happens
much
at
when
two
scrims are
times.
done.
Right before scrim, like a few hours before NA scrim starts, there's usually a one game constantly running, and then after NA scrims, you can sometimes find 2 to 3 games running late into the night. I cast from 9 p.m. my time to 3 a.m. my time, and around
Oh my gosh.
when I ended the stream is when like the game stopped happening.
That's
Um,
cool.
so it was really cool. Like it got great viewership last night. It was my first time casting SEO, and like a lot of people tuned in, and it's cool because you get different drafts than we'll see in competitive play. Um, no, like because when you're competing with your team and stuff, you have like comfort picks, you have stylistic drafts and stuff. But in SEL, we're seeing just like you're not going to have these synergies with these people. You're not going to have like compositions like well drafted out. Like you're not going to be able to run like
Yeah.
weird like death ball type styles with a random group of people. So we're just seeing like these standard like compositions where you're just seeing like safe, well-rounded heroes always picked. But you're not seeing like if you play against Tempestorm, you're going to be seeing like a push comp. But that doesn't happen in SEL. You just play like
The
you
only
just play
thing that
standard.
happens is Zeratul bans.
Yeah, Glaurung gets permanent Zeratul banned, which is hilarious.
Literally, like, I think I've played like 12 games, and I've only got to play Zera like once.
Huh. That's kind of awesome, though.
Too good.
Feels bad, man.
No, it feels good, man.
It's cool. Like the new system for SEL is great, and there's a lot of it's a little less cutthroat than before, but it's
It's
still
cool
pretty
for
cutthroat.
streamers. It's
Yeah,
cool
it's
for
cool for
streamers too.
streamers
Like,
too.
Yeah.
as a player, like streaming Hero League can be just like the most boring shit ever. Like, you can
Yeah.
try and commentate your Hero League game, but like Hero League games, there's literally like no strategy into it. It's literally just kind of a shit show like 99% of the time. But in SEL, there's a little bit of structure to it. You're on comms with your team,
Yeah.
and if the viewer wants to improve at the game or like watch pro players play with each other, it's cool for that environment. The only bad thing is, as a streamer, your interaction with your viewership goes down a little bit because you're on comms and stuff. But overall, I think being able to stream
Yeah.
SEL is really cool.
I think if you're
Yeah.
looking for that high level play, then you're gonna want to hear comms. Like we hear that feedback all the time. It's like anytime comms were released for a match, like I know Fan used to do that as well. It's just like everyone's like, whoa, like we need more of this. Like
Yeah.
and like I'm sure that's definitely a niche that people would love to be able to listen to.
I know there's people I'm gonna miss, but I know Faye from Murloc Geniuses and then McIntyre from Bob Ross. They both stream SEL a lot.
I think Arth does as
Oh,
well.
it does, yeah.
Arthlon does too.
I do occasionally as well.
So
Nice. That's awesome.
it's really cool because let's just go ahead and open this nut. The MMR changes, the matchmaking changes Wizards released. When someone like me consistently queues into people like iDream, Fan, Wiz, the highest MMR people, when someone at my MMR is consistently playing with those people, Hero League MMR is still shit. Hero League matchmaking is still trash.
It's worse when you duo queue too. Like, you can't play with your friends in Hero League. Like,
Yeah.
if I want to duo queue with Caterpillar or with anyone like Wiz, then what ends up happening is because you have 2 high MMR players, you get matched with 3 potatoes, and it's impossible. It's impossible to win. Like, if you solo
Damn
queue,
it, Clow.
it's like 1 high MMR player and then 4 like Hero League players, and then the other enemy team is like 5 Hero League players. They're all in that same level, right? But when you duo queue, it's like this and then like this, and then the other team is just an average
Yeah,
Hero
yeah.
League player. So it's just brutal right now.
And this game kind of does have the tendency to be like the worst player, the worst couple players in the team can really like break it for you. So having that huge discrepancy can hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Potato boys.
Well, SEL, you can find it on Twitch. Various streamers, like we already mentioned, has always been casting it, and that's awesome. That actually,
it's cool. It's
yeah.
cool. It's back.
We should cast together sometime. I'd actually love to cast SEL.
Yeah, I was gonna cast it tonight after the show, but I don't think that's gonna happen anymore.
Yeah, if you're not feeling good, then I think we're all a little sick. You need to rest up for this weekend, anyways.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should.
All right. Well, Glau, this is a topic you like. Greymane supposedly coming next week. He will be the.
So what is this supposedly? Is it just
It's,
people
it's
like,
a data
oh, it's
mine
that
date.
time?
It's a data
or...
mine date.
Okay.
As because they Greymane is in the game. If you go to your portraits, you can see the Greymane portraits are there. They added Greymane to the actual download, or he's actually installed in your game when Lunar was added, and apparently that date was part of the files in the back end, and it was data mined. Also, it's been quote unquote that time, but who knows?
Okay.
Just another thing to point out while we're on this topic is Dustin Browder tweeted out today or yesterday that they won't necessarily be creating hero trailers anymore. You guys, a lot of people have been complaining and asking, where's the Lunara trailer? Where's the Lunara trailer? They said they're going to focus on gameplay videos moving forward. So we won't necessarily always be getting a Greymane trailer to tell us that, hey, Greymane's coming out this week.
Can we talk about Browder real quick?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to do like a PSA, like, for the whole community. Stop fucking tweeting at him dumb shit. You know how lucky we are to have a dev who constantly answers questions and like tweets out information about the game? I've never seen a game do that before, and Dustin Browder's constantly tweeting out stuff.
Yeah, that is
And
true.
we
It's
have
so
a bunch of
stressful, too.
dumbasses that are just like, look at this Hero League game. What is happening? Like, are you kidding me? Are you
And he
fucking kidding
responds
me right
saying
now?
like, I don't know what you want out of this.
Like, dude, like, what the hell is wrong with the community that so many people like? And I know there's like a certain player on my team who is notoriously known for like just spamming Dustin Browder with stuff.
Really?
Like, yeah. He stopped though. But
Okay. That's
like,
pros
just like,
should not be doing that. Like, that's,
are you serious?
That's
Like,
not the right way to do it.
we are in such a like lucky, like, seriously, no game I have played has a dev that is like that open and just talks about stuff, and like it's just demoralizing seeing like these tweets from Dustin, like where Dustin Browder's responding to someone just like, I don't understand what the problem is here, like just spamming his inbox.
Yeah,
Like
this,
that would be so stressful to deal with as a game developer. Like, it just because
That's
you're
why we
already
don't
getting
see it.
so much feedback from like your own sources, the community managers. That's part of their job, is to collect feedback and then present it to the developers. So what Dustin Browder has chose to do kind of like skips that middleman, and there's a lot of shit that he has to sift through before he actually gets to a semi-decent question. And then the thing is, two people will feel insulted if he doesn't respond to the question and sees that he responds to someone else's question. Like, I don't understand how he can do it. There's a 0% chance I could ever do it. Like, it's seriously stressful. And I
Well, I
just
know that
want
was a
to
little
reiterate
tangent.
Zoya's.
Yeah.
No,
wanna
he
reiterate
deserves
Zoya's
every
point.
bit of praise. Like, honestly, it's insane. And just a shout out to Browder, because seriously, I mean,
Yeah,
the fact that we have a
freaking
developer
sick.
that's that passionate and that willing to put up with everyone else's passion for the game in a public sense like that is insane. I mean, and you notice it's always like late at night too. So it's like he got home from work and then he's like, you know, he had dinner and he saw the kids or the family or whatever his personal situation is. And then he's responding on Twitter. Like, I've seen that happen. It'd be like, you know, 12 o'clock my time, 9 p.m. Pacific. And it's just like, dude, there's no way you're at work right now. Like, you're too committed to your job. So props to you, Browder. But let's talk about Wolfie Boy, Mr. Wolfie Poo. I wrote it, actually. Greymane.
Great.
The first Worgen added to the game. And he's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I think all of us played him at BlizzCon. I know you did, Glow Baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lots
quite a
of
lot of
games.
I played him once.
Please be competitively viable. Medic is finally at the point where she's starting to get play. It took, what, 4 months? Cho'Gall's ass, Lunara's ass. Please.
Lunara,
Please,
all right.
Greymane.
All right. A little bit of trivia. The past, I believe it's 5 or maybe even 6 heroes that have been released are not competitively viable. Like, if we actually look at the list, it goes Lunara, not competitively viable. Cho'Gall, definitely not competitively viable. Medic, situationally viable. Artanis,
Look, he's
not
so bad you
competitively
forgot about
viable.
He's
Like,
he's
those
better.
are-
He's better than he was.
Yeah, he's better than he
Yeah.
was.
Butcher,
but there's no
completely out of the
staple.
meta.
There's
Joanna's
no
selling off
staple.
heavy.
Yeah, like when it comes down, you're right though, because when we look at the game, I mean, who's the last hero that had an impact? Karazim?
Even
Yeah.
Karazim, though, he was not used for like
Yeah, for a while.
months.
Yeah,
Like,
but like Is
He gets a lot of
He
play
is
now.
used now,
right?
but
He's
the
pretty
last
popular.
character to like come into the game and have that sort of like just big impact was Leoric, and it feels like Leoric's been out for forever. I think he was released in maybe like
It's been like
July.
9 months. Yeah,
It,
it's been a while.
it's been a long time since we've had like fresh meat, and Butcher came out
Fresh
before
meat.
Leoric, so it's like Rexar, another character, situationally
Ah.
viable but not great.
Yeah.
Like there's just no staple to the meta that was like Jaina Kael'thas. They revolutionized the game. They made damage a lot more impactful and just stuff like that. I really, really hope that, just like Zoya said, Greymane's gonna have that sort of
I don't
impact.
even care if he's competitive. What was Lunara's win rate initially? Like 33%?
36.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
That's
she's
not
like, it doesn't
acceptable.
even have to be like OP, just like playable. Like anytime anytime Lunara pops up in Hero League, I swear half the game someone dodges. Like
Yeah.
it's
So
that bad.
They do. They do. I mean, it's a combination of things, and they said they're looking into her auto attacks, like the bound auto attack
Don't even
cancel.
get me
They're
started
looking
on
into
thing.
that. They're looking into other potential changes, but she feels bad, man. Like real bad.
I tried playing her for like, I don't know, I got her maybe up to like level 5 or 6, and I just stopped. I was like, it's just not fun. Like if there's like something that's like a struggle about the hero, and in this case it's trying to stutter step with her. Like I know it's doable. Like if you really want to like figure out, but it's just not fun. It doesn't feel intuitive. I just stopped playing her entirely. Like just couldn't get a hang
I
of
don't
it.
know
Just,
exactly how it works, but she's got like a maybe Glau. There's like an infinite poison bug when you get level 7.
Oh yeah.
Where you can like on what is it, Battlefield of Eternity, you can like put the poison on, like it's really slow, but like you can put the poison on the immortal and then like go defend yours, and like it'll eventually just like tick down the death.
It's not really like a viable bug to exploit because it is so slow, but it is kind of funny.
There's a little funny little bug like that, but
As far as Greymane goes, I played maybe like 5 or 6 games of him at BlizzCon, and that's not a way to actually like judge a character. The people I was playing against weren't great. He probably has been tuned since then, but at the same time, I've also been doing a lot of theory crafting on his talents and abilities, and I think he's going to be the kind of character that has a pretty big impact early to mid game, but and honestly take this with a grain of salt because my opinions are going to change the instant I play him on ladder. But right now, I feel like he's going to kind of start to fall off late game, just based off of the way his talents look. I don't know how his scaling will work, but I'm really, really excited to play him because he's one of the few characters that'll actually have more than one application. Like you look at Kael'thas, the only thing you're expected to do in a team fight is throw your E out, hopefully hit someone, press D, press W twice on a target, and walk away. Like that's so unfun in a character. We need more fun characters like old school Jaina. Even new school Jaina still kind of playmaking.
I miss Sprint
but
so much on
dude,
Jaina.
Gosh, she was so fun back in the day.
There's not many high skill cap characters. Like Zeratul with Vorpal Blade is one.
Oh, Greymane's
Falstad.
got extremely
Falstad. And I'm really
Greymane's
excited for
kit
Greymane,
was
too.
like one of the few kits that like it honestly felt like if he's like balanced properly, like damage wise and like health wise and scaling wise, like his kit's like one of those kits where like you can seriously outplay people, and that's like something that the game doesn't have much of. Like name a lot of heroes that like it's just straight up like outplay potential, like Tyrande. Like that's the truly like only like you can outplay someone.
Falstad can do that too with certain builds, I think.
Yeah,
But
Falstad too.
I think those are the only
Zeratul.
two though. And
Like-
Zeratul to some extent.
Zeratul and Kerrigan, if played a specific way, I think have outplayed potential, but not many
Not
characters.
to the same way though. This is the first true melee assassin that can really like the double form, the way that you can use disengage to go back into human form,
weave
juke
in and out.
abilities, throw some abilities, and then go back into dark flight, I think it's called, and be in the face of your opponent. And like if you do that properly, like you just imagine dodging the frostbolt of Jaina with your disengage and then leaping back on her, and that's what it takes to kill it, or the blizzard strikes, whatever. That sounds really exciting, not only to do, like sounds satisfying as a player, and to watch it as a viewer is like actually like, an interesting engage rather than, like you said, hitting D and then hitting living bomb twice. Like boom, boom, oh my god, massive damage. That was exciting.
It's just not though. I actually think, looking at his talents, Gilne and Cocktail has potential to be a pretty interesting ability. His Q when he is in human form,
Right, the splash.
he has so many talents dedicated to it.
Well,
I'm almost wondering if that could be the way to go.
no, the fun thing is that that's like
Poke-oriented hero, and then you go in when they're poked down enough. I think that's gonna be the style most people will go with.
Cat.
Well, the thing about that talent that's really interesting, or that ability, is it doesn't do a lot of damage to the primary target you hit. It does more damage to the splash. So if you have their, Diablo, Johanna, whoever peeling for the back line, you can hit 2 to 3 targets behind that, and it's going to do more damage to the targets in the back. So it has really good poke potential, and you weaken up their back line, and then maybe you dive in and kill them. I don't know. I'm so hopeful for this hero.
Yeah, I mean, he was fun at BlizzCon. I doubt they'll change the kit enough to where like it won't be like the kit's fun. Like that was like it was just really fun to play, and that's what's important. I just really hope he's not booty tier. Like just
He has one of the most
he doesn't
fun
have to be
ultimates.
first pick, first ban. He doesn't have to like be god tier OP. Like just be please like draftable.
Have at least a 45% win rate, please.
Yeah.
On place.
45%.
Like it's expected to be, if a character is perfectly balanced, because no one knows how to play him, to be below 50%. But like 30% is kind of unacceptable.
Wolfie Poo Greymane.
I don't know where he got that. It's not in the Reddit thread. It's not.
Nice.
He's my Wolfie Poo. I play Worgen and WoW. I like wolves. I
You
think
play Worgen in WoW. You are such an animal.
good one, buddy.
Oh God.
There's a lot of words that crossed my mind, and I went with like the only one that was not just the most insulting thing.
Damn. Well,
Yeah, I mean, until we see numbers changes and stuff, I don't know. I'm excited for him. He was fun at BlizzCon, so
we'll see. I enjoy him. I enjoyed what we played out of him, actually, or rather, and I'm hopeful for him, but I guess we will have to find out. Supposedly, he'll be launching next week. Time will tell. Of course, we'll talk about him once we've actually played him. There was a really interesting question in chat, and since we have Glaurung on the show, it's a targeted question for Glau.
no, you shut the hell up and don't read that.
You should follow up with Glaurung about his Towers of Tomb being the worst map for competitive play. Is this still the case? Is it the worst map for competitive play? Because that is what you said on an earlier episode.
I definitely think it is, but it's so fun. It's a shitty map for competitive play, but man, do I love brawling that much. My expectations, like I thought I would hate playing that map, and in a competitive setting, I do hate playing that map, but it is so fun in like Hero League and stuff. There's so much fighting. So there's like, I like the map a lot more than I initially thought I would, but from a competitive standpoint, I still think it's
What is it about
pretty
competitive play that you don't like? But
I can
enjoy
go
it?
find a VOD of me and Gilly casting the map where the game just like it was the most anticlimactic ending.
Resident Sleeper, dude.
It was just
2
like
words.
we like the game ends like there's no hype. Like that's
Yeah.
exactly what I said when we talked about the map first. There's no hype to the ending of that map at
The
all.
only time it is ever hype is in the rare situation, like no matter what, there's a way to make a game hype, like someone's core being at 1% and
if it's
they
a
come
close
back and
game
win.
and it's like a
But,
close
like,
fight over a shrine, sure.
Exactly. That's the only time it'll ever be entertaining to watch, or a game decided over a boss fight, maybe. But like, all in all, there's just not too much excitement on the map. Even like, just I don't know. It's frustrating on a competitive level, but I enjoy playing it with friends, and I enjoy playing it in solo queue.
Oh, it's a fun map. I mean, I think I said it was fun last
Super
time
fun
we
to
talked
play.
about it.
But
But just think competitively, it's weird.
It's bad for the viewer. It's very, very bad for the viewer. Maybe not as bad as I'm making it out to be as a player. Like on a team, there is a lot of strategy that goes into the map. Like when you win on that map, it's still satisfying as a player, but as a viewer, it's just awful.
I think I was one of the people that was of the opinion that it would be really good for competitive, really interesting and great. I'm currently working on a new tournament series that is going to be the successor to Kings of the Storm. and Towers of Doom will not be allowed in that tournament. I don't want it in my events. It will not be in the map pool. All events that I organize moving forward will have specific map pools, and Towers of Doom will not be part of any of them.
If you want my
I
input,
gotcha.
I'd say limit it to 8 maps if you can.
It'll
I
be
don't
7
think
maps.
there should be.
It'll be
Okay.
7 maps.
In the future, as more maps release, though, I think more than 8 maps is.
You think of a
Too
best
much
of
to
5.
juggle.
You think of a best of 5 format as a potential for grand finals. Each team gets 1 ban, and then all 5 other maps will be played. No
Yeah.
duplicates. 7
That's
maps is the perfect number of maps.
That's good too.
But so yeah, no Towers of Doom ever. It's a fun map. I love playing the map, but
Yeah, it's a blast. I enjoy it too. It's a very fun map.
I kind of Plas. Thank you for that question. That was actually a really good follow-up question.
For Zoya.
Dude, I am in.
You're struggling, boys.
I
Well-
don't have words right now.
We're all sick. It's going to be a shorter show, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk too much more about Greymane because, well, there's going to be a lot of that next week.
Yeah.
The last topic for today is a lot of speculation. But if you haven't heard the news, Activision Blizzard purchased Major League Gaming. Now, I really wanted to talk about this just because MLG is a huge part of, like, it's the only reason I'm in esports, because I worked for them for many years, and it was my entry to esports in general. And it's been a really, like, interesting week just seeing all the news. So basically, initially it was leaked saying that they are bought out, and there was a lot of chatter saying, you know, oh, is this actually true? What does it mean? Blah 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 blah. Obviously, it was confirmed, and since then I've had the privilege of seeing all my former colleagues change their business profile on like LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, right? So I see all these new job titles, which is very telling, right? It tells you a lot about exactly what is happening because all these people have these new job titles within Activision Blizzard. Now, Major League Gaming as an organization launched MLG TV. They own Game Battles, which is an online place to play games, and they used to be primarily an event organization company. The last couple of years have been very TV focused on their broadcast platform, and I'm sure they'll still do a lot of that. But a lot of these job titles are like lead event organizer, project manager, like stuff of that sort, which really says they are still very much going to be a live event organization company. Mike Sepso, specifically, he's the co-founder of Major League Gaming, specifically works with Activision. And Sundance has now been hired. The other co-founder, CEO of MLG, is now, I think his role now is VP or something of the sort at Activision. We know they're going to be doing stuff with Call of Duty because that's been MLG's focus for quite a while. But this could very well mean Blizzard has a live event production crew on hand, which will change the marketplace
LCS.
a lot. Yeah, it could mean LCS. This could change the marketplace a lot. MLG has been doing this for years. They're very good at what they do. A lot of these guys are incredibly talented. But I mean, who knows? This could mean that the grounds for LCS. They have a studio in Columbus, Ohio, which is central point in the U.S. Not ideal, but it's cheap enough. Who knows? But I actually talked to Slasher this morning. If you guys don't know Slasher, he's an esports journalist. And I asked him what his thoughts were. And he said, I have no freaking idea, but it's a good thing no matter what. And that's pretty much how everybody feels. It's a good thing. MLG wasn't doing anything for the esports industry outside of owning Call of Duty and then some good events for CSGO and Dota once or twice a year. But I think this will help expand that and be very good because, I don't know.
$46 million Blizzard invested into esports. When you think about MLG,
Well,
that's, you know what I mean. The
$46 million that Activision Blizzard, not Blizzard.
Yeah,
Activision Blizzard, remember, it's a larger thing than just Blizzard. And a lot of that money was to cover the debt MLG had from all of the investors.
The point I wanted to make by bringing that up, though, like, it doesn't matter how much money. The fact that Activision Blizzard is willing to invest that much is just amazing for esports. Like, whenever you see that many dollar signs as either a player or someone involved in the production side of things, it just means maybe the risk I'm taking isn't as big of a risk as I initially thought. Maybe there actually is a future, because everyone has those thoughts.
Yeah.
Whether you're on the production side, whether you're a player of, is this actually realistic?
It's Activision. Like $46 million is like peeing in a bucket to them. Like,
But still, like,
I don't.
Call of Duty
is
makes
that
that
how the
much
phrase
money in a
works?
day of sales. Like,
No, less than a day of sales. Probably. Well, I don't know.
yeah,
Day
like,
one at least.
It's not. I mean, it's a good thing, right? But it could potentially not mean a damn thing for Heroes of the Storm.
It's.
I
agree.
There's
just
a
being
chance that it
optimistic.
means nothing. Like, if you look at the history of Blizzard, they've had a great relationship with ESL. I think ESL runs almost all of their games right now competitively, and they might be happy continuing that. You know, Blizzard Activision is completely different than what we work with on a daily basis. Blizzard itself, there's completely different companies, almost essentially. So it could honestly just be the Activision side of it, like they're wanting
could
to
be.
control their own game. We honestly don't know. I have high hopes. This is like Slasher said. There's nothing bad.
oh yeah,
about this, but
devil's advocate for sure. Like I don't want to make everyone overhyped. You know, that it could actually mean nothing, but there's a chance that it could mean a lot. And I'm excited if that does happen for that to be the case.
I mean, Until we get an announcement, though, everyone.
Now, there's a few ways to look at this. Blizzard has not announced an ounce of their North America plans. MLG gets bought by Blizzard Activision. Maybe they were holding their plans for this. Once the news of this blows over, maybe there's this is 100% speculation. Just to put that on the table. Maybe that's the deal, right? Who knows? All I know is Blizzard's got to announce their stuff soon, right? And I'm curious.
I mean,
We're all
it's
kinda chomping at the
almost halfway through January. Like, not really. January just started, but if their World Championship, their first one of the year, is aiming to be done in March, like,
right? They want to do 3 seasons for next year, and presumably, if the 3rd season ends at BlizzCon, which would make sense, they need to finish it by November. So they really can't start too late into the year, or else things aren't gonna really work out, or seasons are gonna be scrunched together pretty hard.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess we'll find out exactly what's going on. If the like you guys said, MLG thing could be completely unrelated to Heroes and Blizzard games as a whole. It could be. It could be completely involved. We have no idea. I'm just anxious at this point to hear what Blizzard has to say.
It's a company like Activision, like even if it's only Call of Duty focused, a company like Activision investing into esports on their own is only a good thing for the industry.
So,
that was the point that I wanted to make as well. So, I just think it'll be good overall.
When Activision Blizzard in their announcement says we want to be the ESPN of esports. First of all, that's been said 1,000 times.
Yeah, it has.
Second of all, that's ridiculous as me saying that I'm going to be the Chris Pratt of esports.
What?
I've said that before, and you guys always yell at me.
Well, there's a good reason we.
I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to mean.
It means I'm going to ride Raptors, man.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think he actually rides a raptor in that movie, Jake.
Oh, that sucks.
Spoilers.
I don't want to be Chris Pratt anymore.
He was like 15 years into his career before he actually did Jurassic Park 2. So you still got a little ways away, Jake, before you can be riding those esports Raptors.
Oh, yes. All right, let's go. Going to play Ark Online. God, that game is terrible. I downloaded it. Holy crap, I hated it. Anyways, on a tangent, let's just check Reddit quickly to see if we have any questions. Now, one thing we did on Town Holiday, if you guys didn't actually catch Town Holiday, is we did our first ever viewer call-ins. We're not doing that today because everyone's sick. You can see Zoya wants to die, and he needs to be healthy for the tournament he's traveling to this weekend.
Yes.
And Kubi and I also are in Glau. We're all sick to some extent.
You guys more so than me.
Yeah, I just feel like poop. Anyways, anything interesting on Reddit before we close things up? Things will resume to the normal 2-guest format next week.
I can briefly talk about North America got a new sponsor. Blank got picked up by SK Gaming.
Oh yes,
which is pretty big. That's what 4 sponsors, like 4 top tier sponsors in NA: Tempest Storm, C9, Cognitive, and SK now.
Yeah,
which is-
well, I mean, SK stepped in and Complexity stepped out, so
Yeah.
it's normalized.
The roster is Shot, Daihu, Aragi, Game Chest, and
Biceps.
Danley for free. No, not Biceps.
Biceps
Danley
is-
for free.
Wait, he's
Oh,
Wait, he's not on that team anymore? He was like the best player.
It's Shot, Daihu, Aragi, Game Chest, and Danley.
Feels
Huh.
bad, man.
that does feel bad. I think Biceps is
Interesting.
very good.
Dude, that poor guy.
I mean, again,
I know
part of
what
the
you
reason
mean.
that he was parted from Cloud9 was his commitments. He didn't want to quit his job and whatnot. So that could have been part of the
yeah, that
decision
could be
here.
coming up again.
'Cause
That is
he's-
true.
Sure. We don't know all the details, so
Right.
it's too soon for us to make any judgments. But I can still say feels bad, man.
You certainly can say it. Well, on that note, I think we can wrap things up. Glau BB, thanks for coming on. Shout outs for you, my friend.
Right now I don't have too much, but for the people who follow me, I'll tell you what's kind of going on. Right now, when I got kicked from Tempo, I was like really insecure and kind of just joined the first team that kind of offered. And right now, like, I'm a free agent again, but the thing is I'm doing it right this time around. I want to take my time. I know I'm a good player. I want to make sure that I can have fun again. The last time scrims didn't necessarily feel like a chore, and I was having a lot of fun with the game. Like, I've had a lot of fun. There have been great moments in 2015, don't get me wrong, and I loved my teammates on COG, but I just wasn't, like, as happy as I have been in the past. So I'm looking to either make a team or join a team of people that I can have a lot of fun with again. The last time that was the case was when I first joined Symbiote. Everyone was, like, really good friends, but then lots of stuff happened. But, like, I kind of want that feeling again. I think the best way to perform is to have fun and play with people you care about and that care about you. So that's what I'm striving for. But my goals for 2016, WCA was a real, like, kind of kick in the ass for me. Going to an international tournament has always been, like, one of my dreams since I've been involved in esports. Now that I've done it and got last place, I don't ever want to do that again. So for 2016, my
Can't blame
goal that I really want to prove myself that I can do is actually go to an international tournament and show that I can compete. So pretty much long, mundane shout outs and stuff, but I'm really happy, and 2016 is going to be a good year for Heroes. So pretty much shout out to you guys for bringing me on this show for the 6th time.
Damn, dude, this guy
I
marks
dig
his
it.
little calendar like 6th time on Town Hall. Woohoo! I love you,
Yeah.
Glaurung.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Zoloff, Lord of the Filth. I don't know.
Wow. All right.
All right.
Happy family here.
You guys can follow me at Tempo Zoya on Twitter. I am the manager of Tempo Storm Heroes of the Storm team. Heroes of the Storm team. I had other things to say, but
Sure.
shout out to our sponsors, G2A, Twitch, and Fnatic Gear. The team and myself will be at the Heroes Rising event this weekend. You can come say hi. I'll be casting it. I'm gonna be casting a lot this year. It's moved up to like my priority number one. So you'll see me casting SEL several nights a week. I was gonna cast it tonight, but I'm probably about to go straight to bed. But SEL on my stream. I'm gonna be casting an event soon partially casting an event with Gilly and Babel soon. That hasn't been announced quite yet, and just casting whatever I can. Might be some go fours here and there. So keep an eye out for me casting basically everything I can get my hands on. Just make sure you guys tune in this weekend, because it's not only me casting, which is awesome, but this is the first tournament appearance of the new roster, and I'm excited for you guys to see what they can bring to the table.
I'm excited to see Babel cast again. What's the timeline on that? Like next month? Zoya?
I don't know how much I can say.
Ooh.
Feels bad, man.
Secretive.
Soon.
TM.
Soon.
Cubus Maximus.
Yeah, just trying to recover. But, I want to definitely encourage everybody to tune into Heroes Rising this weekend. Like we were saying, it's the first, grassroots LAN event in North America. So I want to try to make it as awesome as we can. Even if you guys can't make it, everyone needs to tune in and check that out and support it. You guys already cut off for the GoFund? Jared, do you know?
The GoFund doesn't end until I believe the 9th. It's still got a few days left on it.
Okay, so I mean, if you guys haven't donated yet, definitely contribute to that. Other than that, yeah, things are pretty quiet. So I think that's about it for me. Follow me at the Kubi if you guys haven't already.
What's
That's
happening
about
with your YouTube series? Is it still
Yeah,
going?
What the hell, man?
Yeah, well, you know what? I need stuff to pull
you
from.
need to no.
No, I
no.
do.
No.
What? Here's
Make
the
a
no.
video, damn it.
All right, I was going to like a little while ago, and it was going to be forced, and I don't. That's like the big thing with the series is that I don't want to force content out of it. I want to make sure that if I'm like actually going through a team fight, is like a lot to pull from it. And the other thing is too, like I need replays. I can't pull it from VODs, tournament VODs or anything like that. And like we were talking about earlier in the show,
they're hard to come by.
They're definitely hard to come by. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to having something from Heroes Rising this weekend. That'd be awesome. And I will definitely be able to make a couple episodes out of that for sure, because I'll be watching all of it, paying attention for that. But yeah, again, I don't want to be pulling from, something where it's just doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's just kind of like churning out content, that's just really kind of subpar.
Yeah.
So that's really the truth of it, to be honest. So you guys can look forward to something for next week. I promise you that. I think that's it for me, though.
All right, guys, you can follow me, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, SolidJakeGG on all three. Daily Quest is back in action. It's starting to come to a little bit more shape. We've got Wonky Wednesday, which is like a challenge each week where you submit a replay with a specific build or specific composition. So we had our first one today. That'll be happening every Wednesday. Educast for Fridays every week, which is just you submit random replays and I just cast your games and give advice. So do that. Please shoot me some emails at solidjakegg@gmail.com for those sort of replays. And I'm working on a few things. So there's a website that's in the planning process right now for info on all shows, tournaments, and Daily Quest stuff. There is a successor to Kings of the Storm being worked on. I'm in the process of finishing all the assets and then pitching to sponsors. This will be a monthly event that incorporates the amateur scene and pro scene with invites, and it will happen once a month, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And there's also another series that's going to be one night a week where it's kind of like Storm Elite League with a twist. There's no restrictions. Anyone can sign up, pros to amateurs, and it's completely randomized teams. There's no MMR. There's none of it. It is 100% random teams that duel out in a bracket. It'll be restricted to a small amount of brackets. That will have two casts two streams every week when it happens, and that will be starting up in just a couple of weeks. So a lot of new content coming up at the start of 2016. Some stuff to try to help people that are casually interested in competitive step on in without actually having a team, and then some more organized things for the standing teams. I'm looking to get $5,000 a month as the prize pool for the new Kings of the Storm. It's not Kings of the Storm, but we'll see what I can do. Obviously, it's
the new Kings of the Storm, guys. That's the title.
I'm not going to tell the name
I'm
of the
pretty excited.
No,
Kings
that's
of the
the
Storm
name.
was always like a
New
big piece of
Kings
Heroes
of the
NA.
Storm.
Yep, that's
the title.
Yep, you're gonna love the title.
I just said the title.
Yeah.
It's the new Kings of the Storm.
Great.
That's the name of it, Jake.
But the asset pack is pretty much done with that, and it's just a matter of reaching out to sponsors. If you work in marketing or anything of that sort, and you have advice for me when it comes to pitching to sponsors, I would gladly take the advice. Just shoot me an email at solidjakegg@gmail.com.
Confident.
I don't smile when I email.
You
Well,
can
you
take a
should.
picture. You can take a picture and then send it. Like
Shit,
everybody would like
that's
that.
creepy as.
If you're the Chris Pratt of Heroes,
Exactly, dude. But no, Jake, just confidence, dude, when you're typing those emails.
yeah, make
man.
sure it's very confident typing.
The winners of the
they can
tournament
see
will
how
actually
hard
get
it is.
Funyuns to help their teams disband.
Oh, rip.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode number 91 of Town Hall. Next week, we will be back at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep. We'll try to make like
So yeah,
get Jared to wake up on time.
You
GG's
slept
everyone.
too, bitch.
And good luck to everyone at Heroes Rising.
Yes, absolutely.
Peace.